Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session created for a client that wanted to tap into more of their cognitive capacity. They wanted to tap into more of those highly resourceful states. And one of the natural states that occasionally you see people in is a state called flow. And this flow state is where you have the optimum level of challenge and resources. So it's a difficult thing that you're doing, but your resources are equal to that challenge that is sufficiently stimulating. And sometimes you see this with athletes and great performers, and they get into this flow state where they're doing incredible things, but it looks effortless. This client also had a favorite movie. It was the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper. And what you're going to hear in this hypnosis session is tapping into this idea that we have infinitely more potential than we can normally access. And if you believe that we are capable of more things than we actually do, then the key question is, what does it take to access more of those resources? So one of my favorite scenes in a movie is a scene in the movie Fight Club where there's this person working in a grocery and he gets taken outside by the Tyler Durden character, and a gun is put to their head, and they said, what did you want to be? And the gentleman says, I wanted to be a vet. And he says, right, if you're not studying to be a vet in the next few days, I'm going to shoot you. And anyone watching that scene gets the idea that you've got an individual living a mundane, safe, comfortable life, but it is not desirable in any way. But this visceral threat of a life ending would mean that the next day, all of those excuses as to why he can't study goes out the window, and he would be way more capable. Now, nobody wants a gun to their head in order to make them motivated or focused. So the way in which naturally people get into this state in a positive way rather than a negative way is really belief systems and intentions. If you have an expectation of a good intention happening and you believe that you are capable of either doing that thing or learning that thing, then typically it creates a gateway to tap into more of those resources. People like movies like Limitless because of the appeal of it being instantaneous. You know, if the Bradley Cooper character had to study for years and years to get the same results, it's less appealing. It's the fact that he can take a pill and get those results in seconds that makes it so appealing. And the closest that humans can get to that instantaneous element of feeling resourceful is what's known as an anchor, a trigger. And that's what you're going to hear in this hypnosis session, where I was working with a client to take them back to times in their life where they already had these highly resourceful states and giving them tools to tap into those states whenever they needed them. I think if you like the idea of tapping into more of your potential, you're going to get something out of this session. It was, of course, created for someone else. So if you like the idea of using hypnosis to tap into more of what you're capable of, there will be a link in the show notes to schedule a free consultation call with me. For now, though, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of stress or tension to leave your body in your outward breath. As you breathe in and breathe out, just allow the breath to slow down. Breathing in a longer, deeper breath than you normally would. And as you exhale, just getting a sense that things that aren't necessary for you are leaving your body. Not just tension, not just worries, not just stress, but I want you to imagine that those beliefs that have been holding you back are also being exhaled in your outward breath. There are some people that believe that life isn't fair. And imagine living an entire existence believing that the odds are stacked against you, that you're always going to be taken advantage of, that all the best opportunities will go to other people. The problem is, when you have a belief, you will find the evidence to prove that it's true, and you will disregard all the evidence that contradicts it. And this self-fulfilling prophecy plays out so that those people that believe that life isn't fair end up having an unfair life. And those people that believe that they are blessed and fortunate and full of luck end up having a magical life with wonderful experiences. And if it's the case that what you believe creates the possibility of a self-fulfilling prophecy, doesn't it make sense to have those wonderful beliefs that increase the probability of amazing things happening? So as you breathe in and breathe out, just allow those beliefs that might be holding you back to detach themselves and to feel like they're floating away. I want you to imagine that sometimes there is plants that grow inside a stream or a river like a tree. They will stay there for as long as the roots take root. But if one day the roots become loose, the tree will be uprooted and will end up floating down the stream. I want you to imagine that those beliefs that have been holding you back are starting to unroot and allow them to just float away, creating the possibility that new ideas and new beliefs could take their place. One of the most powerful beliefs to believe is that you are already winning. You are already winning the game of life. You are already doing so much better than you could be. If you imagine the multiverse, infinite parallel universes of your existence, in almost 100% of those other parallel universes you don't even exist. And in the tiny 0.0001% of parallel universes where you do exist, you're still doing better now in this existence than in the majority of those other ones. So in this cosmic game of life, you're already winning. The only question is, how much more can you enjoy and win this life in this reality? And I wonder what would happen if you tapped into the infinite power of your subconscious mind. So let's go back in time. All the way back in time to a time when you felt in a state of flow. A time when you were walking on air. A time when The right words came at the right time. It was easy to learn, easy to make friends. It almost felt effortless. And I want you to go back to that time and see that version of you. You're from the future, they're from the past. And I want you to observe that version of you in that state of flow. Maybe you're in your late teens or early 20s. I want you to see how you communicated, how you moved, how you breathed, how you walked. But I want you to accept something profoundly powerful. You have more advantages than that version of you because you have more life experience. Everything that you had back then, you have now, plus more. More knowledge, more experiences, more frames of reference, more mistakes in life to give you the ability to make better decisions. You already know that if you could go back in time to that point in your life, you would dramatically change your life's trajectory. You'd make different choices, perhaps invest in different things, perhaps learn different things. And if you went into that 19 or 20-year-old version of you and then traveled back to the present time, you would consider yourself infinitely more successful, which gives you evidence that you are more capable now than you have ever been. The only difference is back then is that you felt in a state of flow. So I want you to imagine stepping into that version of you when you felt that feeling of flow. I want you to breathe the same way. Feel like your body posture, facial expressions, and inner dialogue was the same. Feel what it feels like to be in that state of flow, and I want you to relive a moment that proved that things were easy for you, things were effortless for you. Put yourself back in that situation, and let's choose 3 different times in your life where you were at your best. I want you to think back to a time accessing this state of flow where you were learning something and you learned it quickly, rapidly. I want you to feel how you would feel if you took a powerful drug that activated 100% of your mental capacity. You would feel perhaps that certain things are slowing down. You would notice the details. And I want you to think back to what you were learning back then and realize that it's a similar state. When you're invested in learning something, when it matters to you what you're learning, it doesn't require effort. There is an enthusiasm, a synergy, almost like you're downloading new information, new skills directly into your brain. And when you're feeling like you're reliving that moment of learning rapidly, effortlessly, efficiently, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine there is an ability to trigger this whenever you want. Maybe it's a way of sitting. Maybe it's something you say to yourself inside your own mind. But fundamentally, it's built on a belief system that you learn quickly. You're a fast learner. Your intelligence facilitates good learning. One of the most powerful beliefs you can have about learning is that you can learn whatever you want to learn. You don't have to learn, but you want to learn. And whatever you want to learn, you can learn quickly. And I want you to imagine that learning itself is a superpower. And you know that to be true because if you knew what you knew now in the present and could go back in time, you'd be one of the most richest, successful people that's ever lived, simply by knowing what you already know. But interestingly, most people on the planet don't know the things that are just being discovered. So by you learning those new things faster, quicker, more effectively than anyone else, you're already supremely powerful in contrast. And if you accept that, you're a fast, capable learner, and that you can activate this ability to learn quickly whenever you choose to, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to keep this state of flow and then move to a different time in your life where you are in a state of flow in business. Maybe it was creating an idea for a business. Maybe it was negotiating or selling. Maybe it was doing something that changed the strategy of that business. But recall a time when you were in a state of flow in your business and it was effortless. Feel like you're back in that moment and notice there was time distortion. You didn't even pay attention to the time. You were just dialed in. You were locked in to that way of thinking. Some of the most successful coders in the world, the tech entrepreneurs, the Zuckerbergs, the Musks, quite often they report a time in their life where they would code for hours in a trance state, not realizing what they were doing, and then at the end of it, they'd created incredible things. Humans can access this flow state. You've accessed this flow state. And in business, this flow state means that you've got the right combination of challenge that coincide with your skill set, with a strong desire to do something and move forward. I want you to feel where in your body you feel this flow state. Notice how you're breathing differently, that you're thinking differently, that almost that you are just a catalyst, a conduit for a supremely powerful force inside you. You're not even sure where the ideas come from. It almost feels like you're not making these choices yourself, but you are just a gateway to the infinite power within you. And the fact that you allow it to happen means that you're trusting yourself, you're trusting your subconscious, and some people would call it your superconscious, the infinite power within. And I want you to imagine that this feeling can be recreated whenever you choose, simply by knowing it's there, expecting it, and having the intention to utilize it. Because there are many skills that you know how to do, perhaps playing an instrument or riding a bike, that if you were thinking about doing that tomorrow, you would just have a positive expectation that you can do that thing. So why not also have a belief that accessing this flow state is just something that is natural for you. It's enjoyable for you. It's no longer elusive. It's like a tap. You can turn it on whenever you want. No pills, no potions. No magic old lady in a forest. Simply deciding it is enough to activate it. And then I want you to go to a time in your life where you felt in a flow socially. You had that combination of confidence, charisma, the communication just flowed. You didn't have to think of what to say or how to say it. The words just came. Maybe people were laughing and joking. You had that magnetic charisma. And when you can remember a time like that where you were tapping into that wonderful feeling of being in flow socially, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to adjust your body so you feel like you felt back then. Breathe the same way. Smile the same way. Tap into this feeling that if you've had it before, you can have it again, whenever you want. Because of all the different things, social confidence is simply a game. Believing that you're good with people, believing that you're likable, believing that you have charisma is exactly what it takes to be good with people, to be likable, to have that charisma. And the more you believe it, the more you experience it, and the more you know it's then true. There are certain things you can't unlearn. You can't unlearn a language. You can't unlearn how to talk. You can't unlearn how to read. And you can't unlearn how to learn. All those business skills that you've acquired over your lifetime, you can't unlearn them. Which also means all those social skills you've learned over your lifetime, you can't unlearn them either. And I want you to accept the suggestion that you've never been as smart as you are right now because you know more. You've never been as wise as you are right now because you've experienced more. You are the best that you have ever been in your life right now. And I want you to unlock an attitude of complete self-belief, inner conviction, and an attitude of bring it on, I'm ready. Because you are ready. Your whole life has prepared you for this moment. The future is yours for the taking. And all you need to do is to trust that either you already have all of the resources and qualities needed to do whatever you want to do, or you will learn what is still required in order to move forward. You either win or you learn. And the more you play, the more you win and learn. I want you to take these feelings of being in flow and think about what the next few days and weeks look like. Like you're a character from a movie that's taken a pill that have activated 100% of your cognitive power. See yourself like you're someone else living a life where you're in flow. That it's almost effortlessly easy for you to make dramatic progress because of all the foundations that have been laid up to now. And if you're unlocking that belief that you're capable of great things, that luck is heading your way, that with the right combination of intention and action, you can not just want these things, but experience these things, let me know by nodding your head. You can activate this state of flow, this positive expectation of success and luck whenever you choose, simply by knowing that it's true. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And just return to the present, listening to my voice. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that you're fully back in the present, listening to my voice. And very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, motivated, full of inner self-belief, knowing that you can activate this state of flow whenever you choose. And you're looking forward to using that muscle, that strength that you've already built up across your lifetime, starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.